Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Tourism and Hospitality Service Management, SOTHSM, Bachelor of Arts, Facility and Services Management, BAFSM, Semester I. BFO 003 Basics of Facility Management. Unit 3 Scope and Applications of Facility Management, 2. 3.0 Objectives. After studying this unit, you should be able to learn scope of residential, commercial, healthcare facilities, to train the students with the new trends and rapidly changing field of residential, commercial, healthcare facilities. On successful completion of this course, the students will able to apply theoretical and practical aspects of residential, commercial, healthcare facilities. Apply knowledge and skill on management of residential, commercial, healthcare facilities. 3.1 Introduction. Rapid urbanization and industrialization raised the need to protect property assets, given an opportunity to the global facility management market. Over the past few years, future of residential, commercial, retail and healthcare facilities has undergone a sea change as emphasis on managing customer experiences as much as space efficiency, health and safety. It is most important to pay attention to how facilities are managed and services are delivered. Adopting new technologies in buildings, enabling a more innovative facility management workforce results in a decrease in maintenance, cost saving, equipment failure, lifespan of equipment and structure, space flow and capacity and value addition to customer. For growth of facility management requires demand in focused services like engineering, innovation, energy efficiency audits and concepts like green building, artificial intelligence and Internet of Things. 3.2 Residential facilities. These are buildings which are used for normal residential purposes and should facilitate activities such as sleeping, living and cooking. The building must include one or more family residencies, apartments, flats and private garages. Residential facilities cover a wide range of property types and construction styles, like high-rise apartments with units stacked horizontally and vertically to low-rise villa-style, independent house complexes with clustered of units around central features. Each type of residential facilities has its own challenges and opportunities. A single villa owner sharing in the decision-making regarding management, maintenance and operation of the building, while high-rise apartments have common maintenance, decisions and shared services which introduce the different element of complexity to manage facility. There are number of factors make multi-unit residential different from other type of buildings such as commercial facilities. 1. It is someone home every hour of every day. 2. Different types of emotions involved. 3. Different priorities. Now trend for adding more and more new amenities in residential facilities like power backup, lifts and escalators, waste disposal, Vastu-compliant designs, swimming pool, tennis courts, clubhouse, community garden, spa, gymnasium, high-speed Wi-Fi, rooftop deck, etc. 3.2.1 Residential Facilities Management. Integrated Facility Management, IFM, of residential facilities has, owing to its growth and specialization over the past few decades. Technically, a residential property is defined as a single-family unit with 1 to 4 residential units, whereas a commercial property is a building with 5 or more units. A residential property is used for residential purposes, while commercial properties are strictly put for commercial or business use. If any type of business is run from a residential property, it will be considered illegal and the involved parties can be fined or face punishment according to the law. The residential sector has multiple requirements for facility to manage on regular basis. It includes the basics like housekeeping, pest control, landscaping, painting, moving or shifting house support, property security. Property maintenance include electrical and plumbing, carpentry, general maintenance and many other services, especially where residentials are built to be idioms of ultra-luxury. Panache and exuberance, so to maintain in proper condition there is need for professional facility management team. There is trend of outsourcing the management to property management companies as per the requirement and needs of the consumer. The following are the benefits for outsourcing management to property management companies. Building management team. Most of the residential facilities required regular electric, plumbing and other civil work and management. This team can be point of contact for solving all building related requests and escalations of any problem. The size or manpower of this team varies based on the size of the residential complex and number of amenities available in the residential building. Technology. Established property management companies use new technologies that lead to efficiencies in operations, billing, clubhouse management, and manpower performance management. Enhance service levels. These companies can improve processes, efficiency, productivity, and service levels of each team, including security, housekeeping, electric, and plumbing. Working at the property. Energy management and water conservation. Energy and water conservation is a part of sustainability and it is increasingly becoming an integral part of the facilities management. FM role. In residential buildings, lighting in common areas is where significant cost saving can be done. Lighting energy consumption is approximately 20 to 45% of total energy consumption of any typical building. Muthukumar Ramaswamy, 2019. The most overlooked way aspect of reducing energy consumption through lighting is the lack of planning while designing the building. It is common that most of the homes and offices have unnecessarily increased the number of lights that are actually needed to illuminate a space. Few ways to ensure effective light usage are: replace CFLs with LED, reduce lighting levels to meet actual requirements, automatic controls. Manual timers can be used for turn-off switches. Photovoltaic panels incorporate into the new building as source of primary or secondary electrical power source. One of the best ways can also be by installing solar panels and solar heaters. Consuming less water means spending less on water and energy, and in larger residential buildings, property owners and building managers have much to work on limited use of water. Few ways to ensure water conservation are: all residential buildings should have rainwater harvesting system in place. It is collection of water from building roof. Sewerage treatment plant for larger residential buildings where there is high demand for water by treating grey water to filter and disinfect it, and after treatment water can be used for toilet flushing, gardening, cooling towers and the like. Saving water for use of landscape by showering water to plants. Automatic water level controller and indicator for underground and overhead tanks. Help in switch off motor as soon as water is full in tank. Control on toilet flushing as toilets can contribute to water consumption with every flush. Toilet flushes account for 31% of overall household consumption of water. Toilets made before 1980 use 19 liters of water in each flush, while newer toilets use Only 6 liters or less. Regular inspection and repair can save water. Safety and security. Safety and security plays a vital role in high-rise societies. Maintaining the security for gated colonies and large residential building involves a series of actions includes premises security, internal security, system security. For safety of all needs. To ensure for risk management and emergency management. To maintain safer and secure environment in premises and internal these following points to ensure by the facility manager. There should be minimum number of entry and exits except emergency exits. All entry and exits should be manned. There should be proper lighting and CCTV camera on all entry and exit points. All CCTV should have static, pan, tilt, zoom and record effects and with viewing system which should be monitored by a security 24/7. Management of visitors by visitors entering and exiting the building. Residential buildings are typically more secure than solo houses. The areas of exposure that need to be secured and monitored in buildings are balconies, rooftops, parking lots, entries and exits, fire escapes, gardens and basements. Evacuation plans, clear signage and procedures for building. Installation of fire detecting and exit systems. Regular training for all security staff. Compliances. It is important for facility management company to adhere to all statutory obligations and obtains the necessary licenses for the contractual staff that it employs. E.g. labor licenses, provident fund, ESI, etc. 3.3 Commercial facilities. The commercial facilities sector includes a diverse range of sites that attract large crowds of people for business, shopping, lodging and entertainment. Facilities within this sector operate on the principle of open public access, meaning that the general public can move freely without the deterrent of highly visible security barriers. The majority of these facilities are privately owned and operated, with minimal interaction with government and other regulatory entities. 3.3.1 Commercial facilities sectors. The commercial facilities sector consists of 8 subsectors. Entertainment and media, e.g., movie theaters, motion picture studios, broadcast media. Lodging, e.g., hotels, motels, conference centers, RV parks and campgrounds. Outdoor events, e.g., theme and amusement parks, fairs, parades, exhibitions, parks. Marathons. Public assembly, e.g., arenas, stadiums, aquariums, zoos, museums, convention centers. Real estate, e.g., office and apartment buildings, condominiums, mixed-use facilities. Self-storage. Retail, e.g., retail centers and districts, shopping malls. Sports leagues, e.g., professional sports leagues and federations, and gaming, e.g., casinos. Offices. 3.3.2 Commercial buildings. A commercial building usually houses businesses and is bought or rented to carry out business activities. A commercial facility can contain one or more of many types of business. There are 4 categories attributes to the commercial facilities. 1. Office space. Office buildings are a common type of commercial building that can of any size, depending upon the needs of the business. An office building might be only one story or it might be multi-storied, depend upon the investor wish to invest. The owner of building might have office or rent out the entire building. The tenants might have just one company or might be many companies even on the same floors. To industrial buildings are actually a broad range of building includes manufacturing facilities, workshop facilities and warehouse are also considered as industrial facilities. These facilities are usually located outside city areas and are larger in space or size. There can be several subsegments like factories, unit for assembling machinery, any kind of warehouse, a research and development facility. An industrial building might have hazardous chemicals in it, it might have heavy machinery, or it might serve customers as with an auto shop. Even though industrial buildings can contain such a wide range of business types, many times they are all grouped together because of potential noise or hazard issues. This keeps these types of buildings from being too close to residential neighborhoods, although of course the distance can vary depending on the city or town. 3. Multi-use. A multi-use commercial building is one that has a variety of tenants. These tenants might include restaurants, retailers, offices, and even healthcare facilities. It can also include residential rentals and would still be considered commercial as long as 51% of the tenants were commercial tenants and not residential. 4. Retail. Retail spaces are a type of commercial building. Retail facilities can be quite complex with elements of formal and informal structure. Retail can be any type of store or shop, ranging from store that fill an entire warehouse to small retailers in a building with other businesses. A retail building might have only shop for one business, or it might have multiple retail space like a supermarket or mall. These facilities are mostly found in urban and suburban locations. Retail buildings almost always have a storefront so that customers can walk in directly. In some businesses, like supermarket and mall, the access can be inside the building. These facilities will have basic safety features like firefighting equipments and evacuation systems on place. 3.3.1 Office space. Office buildings are a common type of commercial building that can of any size, depending upon the needs of the business. An office building might be only one story or it might be multi-storied, depend upon the investor wish to invest. The owner of building might have office or rent out the entire building. The tenants might have just one company or might be many companies even on the same floors. The offices can be different types. Private offices can be in all sizes, from one person up to 100 and is a lockable room that is located within shared office facility. Private offices provide a quiet, confidential and secure space to work, and even you can leave your belongings. Private offices are a cost-effective way of renting commercial space for access to communal meetings, breakout spaces. Co-working desk allow to alongside with other business or department. Dedicated desk means to keep your workstation set up for the duration of tenancy. Co-working concept for those who require a space for working day or number of hours in a week. Virtual office. A virtual office gives you all the services of a managed office without the physical space. Ideal for companies who work out in the field, meet with clients, or work from home. A virtual office gives you a business address, call handling and reception services, and somewhere to deliver your mail when you don't need the physical office space, but they can include discounted desk hire or meeting room hire. Virtual offices are the most affordable office type because you're not renting actual desk space. Enterprise office. An enterprise space is a type of managed office space that is customizable to suit the needs of larger teams. Sure, it's a type of co-working or serviced office, but whilst many of us associate co-working spaces as a concept suitable for startups, freelancers, and individual creatives, times are changing. Criteria typically used for rating building includes age of the building, location, accessibility, infrastructure, technology availability, rental rate of area, market perception, quality of building including HVAC system, exterior and interior of the building. These all can determine whether property are grades as Grade A, Grade B and Grade C. Grade A buildings are the best kept buildings at prime places, newly built, competing for premier office users. With rent above average for the area, these buildings have first-class finishing, high-tech security, dining options, valet services, in other words building built to impress. Grade B buildings are slightly older, offer fewer facilities and have more affordable rents. These are well located in solid market, maintenance and upkeep are solid. These building offers HVAC, elevator systems that are functional, security and on-site parking. Grade C buildings are the oldest buildings in any city and have very few facilities and upkeep. They have the lowest rentals. These buildings occupied by small businesses that are industrial or service-oriented, like engineering, landscaping, security, construction, etc. 3.3.4 Assembly building. These are defined as buildings or parts of them which houses public gatherings congregated with the intent of amusement, recreation, social, religious, patriotic, civil, travel or other similar purposes. Buildings such as movie houses, drama theaters, drive-in theaters, assembly halls, clubhouses, town halls, auditoriums, exhibition halls, museums, Mangal Karyalayas, gymnasiums, sports complexes, restaurants, boarding houses, dance clubs, gymkhana, places. 3.3.5 Mercantile buildings. In these types of buildings, either the entire building or a part of it is used for housing shops, stores or showrooms where display and sale of wholesale goods, retail goods or merchandise is carried out. Such buildings should also accommodate office, storage and service facilities, essential for the business which should be located in the same building. 3.3.6 Industrial buildings. Buildings used to manufacture, assemble or process products or materials are termed as industrial buildings. They include manufacturing units, assembly plants, factories, mills, power plants, oil refineries, gas plants, dairy plants, laboratories, etc. 3.3.7 Storage buildings. If a building or a part of it is used for the storage of commodities, goods, merchandise, etc., then it is categorized as a storage building. They comprise buildings such as warehouse, cold storages, grain storage units, barns, stables, freight depot, transit shed, hangars, truck terminals, public garages, etc. 3.3. 8 Wholesale establishments. Buildings under this category include establishments being fully or partially utilized for wholesale trade and manufacture, wholesale shops having required storage facilities or warehouse and establishments providing truck transportation services and/or truck transportation booking services. 3.4 Retail facilities. The retail sector is very competitive and rapidly changing. It also plays a key role in the economy of any country, not only because of customer demand is an indication of a vibrant financial system but also because of retailers are larger employers. Retailing also proves opportunity for people who wish to start their own business. Retailing activities have their own challenges and opportunities, for example, villages that are not connected with adequate roads, demand combined with the high cost of transporting goods to and from remote villages, results in higher costs and prices for consumer goods. From a consumer's perspective, retailers are local businesses. In today's world, consumers collect information, compare and then make decision to purchases using the online or visiting store. To exploit these new technologies and systems and gain advantage in a highly competitive and challenging environment, facility management plays a vital role in retail sector. Managers need to be comfortable with the new technologies, information and supply chain management systems, international business as well as managing a diverse workforce and buying merchandise. Michael Levy, Retailing Management, 2019. 3.4.1 Types of Retail Facilities. Retail buildings are of 5 basic types. 1. Shopping centers. 2. Single-story supermarkets. 3. Warehouse-type distribution centers. 4. Mixed-use retails. 5. Commercial and residential buildings. 3.5 Hypermarket, supermarkets and malls. The distribution of goods and services and transactions in the modern era developed modern marketing institutions and exchange methods that have tremendously growth. Maintenance within the commercial sector is an expensive and especially asset management and properly functioning equipment as if breakdown occur can have an impact on comfort conditions, trade and financial loss. Urbanization normally contributes to the development of land for the use in commercial properties, social and economic support, healthcare, institutions, transportation and residential buildings. Rapid growth in urbanization, there are needs for quick to plan for growth and provide the basic services, infrastructure, affordable housing and commercial facilities to fulfill the demand. The concept of hypermarket, supermarket and mall are very common in major cities. 3.5.1 Hypermarket. Hypermarkets are large retail establishments that are a culmination of departmental stores and supermarkets. They are known as a one-stop shop for all your daily requirements, such as groceries, medicines, clothes, etc. The main objective of the hypermarket is to allow you to buy all the goods you need in one place. Instead of visiting several different stores, you can purchase everything from hardware to cosmetics from hypermarkets at discounted rates. A hypermarket is a retail store divided into a shopping or departmental store and is usually larger than a typical supermarket. These markets offer an array of products comprising appliances, clothing, and groceries. From food to electronics and toys to merchandise, hypermarkets fulfill all requirements under one roof. Products sold at moderately lower prices in a hypermarket motivate several people to buy goods in these stores. 3.5.2 Supermarkets. Supermarkets are large self-service grocery stores that offer customers a variety of foods and household supplies. The merchandise is organized into an organized aisle format, where each aisle is numbered or labeled and has only similar goods placed together. Supermarkets are quite larger compared to traditional grocery stores, where people are available behind the counter to provide the consumer with goods and the consumer stands in front of the counter asking for the goods. However, supermarkets are smaller than hypermarkets or big box markets, which are basically supermarkets combined with departmental stores. On the other hand, supermarkets are not only limited to malls, they can be set up anywhere with a medium to a large space. Supermarkets have a special format where it allows consumers to pass through aisles using shopping carts or baskets and pick up whatever they require. Although the early supermarkets did not house fresh grocery or meat, modern supermarkets have meats, poultry, bread, dairy products, and fresh fruits and vegetables. In addition to fresh and canned food, supermarkets also keep household products such as cleaning supplies, baby goods, pet needs, medicine, kitchen appliances, crockery, etc. Supermarkets usually receive goods and merchandise in bulk from either manufacturers or large distributors in order to avail economies of scale. The profit margin is usually very small and the discounts are forwarded to the customers. Supermarkets may also be part of a huge chain system and may be closer to other supermarkets. 3.5.3 Malls. Malls, the place where people go to hang out, shop, eat and just have fun, while supermarkets have their importance as the place that provides food and goods. These two places are related and not related. Malls are huge places that house many stores and activities for people, which can include supermarkets. Malls are traditionally one place where huge supermarkets are also found. Malls can be medium to large in size depending on the construction and the number of stores that it wants to hold. Shopping malls or malls are large, enclosed spaces that are often characterized with many stores that sell merchandise to the public. The malls are enclosed and have centralized cooling or heating, depending on the weather and the area where the mall is located. Malls are also car-friendly and are associated with having large parking spaces in an underground parking lot or an adjoining building. They have elevators, escalators, stairs and walkways to help the public get around from one place to another. The malls have a variety of branded and local-based stores. Malls are also associated with having food courts, movie theaters, play area and many other attractions to draw in the public. The malls also have many different stores that sell many different kinds of merchandise, including food, jewelry, clothes, specialized stores, watches, etc. 3.5.4 Difference between malls, hypermarket and supermarket. Look at the screen. 3.6 Research laboratories. The research laboratories may be varying from diagnostic laboratories to university laboratories. In many laboratories where hazards are present, safety precautions are vitally important. All types of laboratories have their own standards and operating procedures which need to follow to work. 3.6.1 Types of research laboratories. Different types of research laboratories are 1. Diagnostic laboratories run tests on clinical specimens such as blood, urine, etc. Healthcare professionals complete such tests to get patient health information regarding any disease diagnosis and treatment. These labs are run by private organizations or individual health professional. 2. Hospital laboratories similar to diagnostic laboratories primarily run by the healthcare professional inside private or government hospital. The salary of employees will be paid by the organization who runs the laboratory. 3. National laboratories. The research laboratories conducting research focuses on the humanities, science, either quantitative or qualitative. Responsibilities of such laboratories include energy, disease, health-related or other national projects. Many labs are working on topics like environmental impacts, recycling of plastic waste, etc. These laboratories receive funding from national or international organizations. 4. Clinical laboratories. Such lab will analyze and test on subjects like microbiology, genetics, hematology, virology, and others. These projects are funded by the national or international organizations. 5. University laboratories focus on either scientific research or research on subject areas students studying. These laboratories will include research as well as teaching, where students demonstrate and practice their work. A compute lab is also a laboratory for libraries and academic institutions for studying and research. 3.7 Hospital and healthcare facilities. Hospitals play an important role in the delivery of healthcare services. With advance in the field of medicine and technology, hospitals are able to offer a wide variety of health services. Traditionally, aging population are the largest user of healthcare services. There is significant increased cost for medical care, the aging population and declining levels of service, which may cause decline in quality of service delivered, so there is a greater need for an efficient and effective healthcare system. Healthcare facilities may be owned and operated by governments, private organizations, not-for-profit organizations, and also by individuals. The larger the healthcare facility, the greater the patient load. There are two types of healthcare facilities. One, public healthcare services, which is a chain of healthcare centers and hospitals run by the government, covers all populations living in rural and urban areas. The another is private healthcare services, which is run by individual, private organizations and by not-for-profit organizations. The different types of public healthcare facilities are divided into three levels. M. Chokshi, DEC 2016. 1. Primary healthcare facilities includes sub-centers and primary health centers. A sub-center, SC, is established in a plain area with a population of 5,000 people and in hilly difficult to reach tribal areas with a population of 3,000, and it is the most peripheral and first contact point between the primary healthcare system and the community. 2. Secondary healthcare facilities includes community health centers and smaller district or general hospitals. Community health centers, CHCs, are established and maintained by the state government under the MNP-BMS program in an area with a population of 1 to 0,000 people and in hilly difficult to reach tribal areas with a population of 80,000. As per minimum norms, a CHC is required to be staffed by 4 medical specialists, that is, surgeon, physician, gynecologist, obstetrician, and pediatrician, supported by 21 paramedical and other staff. It has 30 beds with an operating theatre, X-ray, labor room, and laboratory facilities. It serves as a referral center for PHCs within the block and also provides facilities for obstetric care and specialist consultations. An existing facility, district hospital, subdivisional hospital, CHC, can be declared a fully operational first referral unit, FRU, only if it is equipped to provide round-the-clock services for emergency, obstetric, and newborn care, in addition to all emergencies that any hospital is required to provide. It should be noted that there are 3 critical determinants of a facility being declared as a FRU. I. Emergency. Obstetric care including surgical interventions such as cesarean sections. 2. Care for small and sick newborns. And 3. Blood storage facility on a 24/H basis. 3. Tertiary healthcare facilities includes medical colleges and research institutions and bigger general district hospitals. Tertiary level hospitals refers to a departmentalized hospital with teaching, training, and research capabilities and which have accredited residency training programs, expert medical staff, expensive, latest equipments and infrastructure, and sophisticated diagnostic and therapeutic facilities and departments in the fields of advanced medical surgery, pediatrics, medicine, obs-gyn, ENT, orthopedics, cardiology, anesthesia, dental and other ancillary disciplines. Examples are AIIMS. Others. The private healthcare facilities are hospitals. Hospitals are multispecialty where they offer wide range of medical, surgical and psychiatric service for all specialties, i.e. medicine, orthopedic, cardiac, nephron and neuro, etc. Specialty hospital which provides services for one particular illness or disease or health medical care need. These hospitals offer diagnostic, medical, surgical only for a specialized care like eye, general surgery, cardiology, nephrology, oncology, other specialty hospital. The medical care rendered by medical experts using highly specialized equipment for a specific medical problem. The hospital services further can be divided under these major areas or departments. 1. Clinical services. Clinical services in a hospital are the care which is directly related to the inpatient treatment. Departments comes under clinical services are emergency services, outpatient services, nursing department, inpatient department, wards, ICUs, other areas, operation theatre and various medical specialties in the hospital. 2. Support services. Support services are which are directly related to patient care but indirectly contribute in patient care management. Departments includes admission and discharges, diagnostic, laboratory and blood bank services, radiodiagnostic services, central supply department and pharmacy department, medical records, etc. 3. Utility services. These departments provide additional support to other departments. Services include engineering and maintenance services, housekeeping, security services, dietary services, laundry and linen, transportation, mortuary, waste management. 4. Administrative services. These departments manage and provide additional support to other departments. Services include material management, human resources, finance, marketing, quality, information technology, legal and ethical, public relation management. 3.7.1 Healthcare facility departments. Healthcare facilities, whether it's public or private, need these following departments to provide care for ill patients. These departments can be divided into 3 broad categories: clinical services department, support services departments, and utility services departments. 3.7.2 Clinical services departments. Clinical department in hospital includes outpatient department, inpatient services, operation rooms, nursing department, paramedical department, pharmacy, and other specialties in the hospital like medicine, cardiology, nephrology, neurology, and others. Outpatient department, OPD. Most of the hospital have an OPD where curative and investigative work can be done without admitting the person. The OPD is the show window of the hospital. The scope of OPD includes consultation, investigation, minor procedures, rehabilitation, health education, counseling, and specialty services. Preferred location of OPD. At the entrance of the hospital, it should be separate from inpatient area and easily accessible. 2. Pharmacy, medical record, radiology, laboratory and billing counters. Inpatient department, The inpatient services is the heart of the hospital. It is the areas of the hospital where patients are accommodated after doctor prescribed to get admitted either from the OPD or from the emergency and ambulatory care. Inpatient care begins with admission in a hospital for intensive monitoring, evaluation and medical treatment that require the patient to stay at least one night in a care-related facility. Patient will be shifted to inpatient area where services of lodging, diet and medical care is provided by the professional healthcare staff like nurses, technician, etc. The patient can decide on the basis of his financial capacity to select any type of ward or decided by the doctor depend upon the medical condition of the patient. Several types inpatient wards facilities in a hospital are casualty. Hospital have a separate accident and emergency unit function round the clock to deal with different types of medical and surgical emergencies. Intensive care unit, ICU. These are ideally more than 6 number of beds units suitable to manage critical and highly critical patient bring from emergency, after surgery and medical ill patients. In ICU unit, people received one-to-one care by specialized trained nurses. To manage ICU facility, there are standard requirements to maintain high-quality equipments like emergency resuscitation, ventilator, suction, other equipments. The ICU should be fully air-conditioned, which allows control of temperature, humidity and air changes. General ward, hospital general ward mean a room shared by 3 or more people. Semi-private room and private room, hospital semi-private room has either 2 or 3 beds while private rooms have only single bed. A single room helps prevent direct and indirect contact transmission. These rooms have bed, freeze, TV and separate toilet and wash basin. 3.7.3 Support Services Departments. Diagnostic, Interventional and Therapy Department. Diagnostic department play a critical role at every step of disease management, i.e., diagnosis, monitoring, screening and prognosis. The diagnostic department covers everything from radiology to laboratory that help doctor to find out the symptoms and determine their next course of treatment. Diagnostic department perform ECG, echo, ultrasound, EEG or other procedures. Radiology, radiological department perform procedures like X-ray, ultrasound, CT and MRI. It uses diagnostic imaging tools, e.g., CT, ultrasound, MRI and fluoroscopy, to guide their procedures. Some advantages to this type of radiology procedures includes less expenses, less risky, greater comfort and faster recovery time. In most of the procedure, admission in hospital is not required. Pathology and laboratories. The following laboratories are usually found in the pathology department: bacteriology laboratories, biochemistry, hematology, histopathology, and blood bank. Public activities are commonly located at the main entrance. Administrative departments are typically grouped together to support operational efficiency and cross-utilization of manpower. Admission and discharge. This department is typically located near the main lobby and emergency department. From this department, information to patient, admission of patient and discharge procedure, which include personal information, medical history, insurance data and other information required by the hospital, collected and forwarded to respective ward where patient got admitted. Financial services. This department required to establish patient account, as patient may pay by cash, credit from the company, or from insurance company. Finance department also processes all insurance and third-party payment requests. Dietary department. The dietary department has the responsibility for the food service to the client according to their needs and doctor's prescription. This department is responsible for the health teaching in regard to proper diet of the client upon their discharge from the hospital. 3.7.4 Utility Services Departments. Purchase Department. The purchasing department has the responsibility for purchasing all supplies and equipments for the hospital. Housekeeping. Housekeeping services in a hospital is delegated to maintain a hygienic and clean hospital environment conducive to patient care. It has a direct effect on the health, comfort and morale of the patient, staff and visitors, hence is also an important public relations variable. Control and preventions of hospital infection is one of the most vital functions of hospital housekeeping, whereas in a hotel the aesthetics receive the maximum emphasis. Key responsibilities and functions of the housekeeping services are to clean room, floors, furniture, fixtures, wall, ceilings, curtains, windows and bathrooms, disposal of hospital waste, replace supplies in utility rooms, odor control, clean and maintain housekeeping equipment and bugs and pests control. The housekeeping services can be carried out in healthcare institutions either in-house and outsourcing of services. Linen and laundry. The laundry takes care of the entire team linen of the hospital. A good laundry facility ensure the following functions: controlling cross-infection, washing the dirty linen, careful handling of linen articles while laundering, use of suitable cleaning agents, proper counting and record maintained to avoid shortage of linen, repairing the torn linen. Maintain laundry equipments, replacing the condemned linen and patient's comfort and satisfaction. The organization can choose type of laundry services to be placed in the facility will depend upon the availability of space, water and manpower. Different types of laundry services in healthcare institutions. 1. In-plant system. Here a hospital runs its own laundry. The system can only be justified for very large hospitals and teaching institution as it is very expensive. In this system the hospital has its own linen and laundry and all the activities of the hospital laundry service, like washing, mending and replacement, are done in the hospital premises. 2. Rental system. In the system hospitals hire laundered linens from the contractor. The contractor is also responsible for the replacement as well as laundering of patients and staff linen. The main advantage of rental linen supply system is that the hospital does not have to spend much for this vital service. 3. Contract system. Here, hospitals own their linen but have no means of laundering. Washing, conditioning and pressing are carried out on contract basis from outside. In some cases, however, a subsidized contract type is prevalent, and in such case the hospitals provide water and washing area within the hospital premises. 4. Cooperative system. A single laundry is run on cooperative system to cater for a number of hospitals. This system is very economical. It can ideally be adopted for government hospitals, a group of smaller hospitals. Maintenance department. Mechanical and electrical department act as vital organs to a hospital, providing power, water, fresh air, heat, air conditioning and other important elements that keep the hospital running efficiently and safely. The maintenance department keeps the hospital in a good state of repair. Carpenters, painters, welders, gardeners, etc. are included in the personnel of this department. Hospital systems are required to have a minimum of two independent sources of electrical power, a normal source that generally supplies the entire facility, and one or more alternate sources that supply power when the normal source is interrupted. Regular maintenance and testing of the electrical and water distribution system in a healthcare facility is necessary to ensure proper operation in the facility. The department can be managed by the in-house or by the outsourced company. The primary objectives of the engineering department in healthcare facilities are to maintain HVAC plant, uninterrupted power supply, providing water and reverse osmosis water for drinking and carrying procedures, and run proper equipments, maintaining civil asset, plumbing and fitting, piped medical gases, CCTV, painting, sewerage treatment plant, and any type repair and maintenance. The engineering department in hospital plays a vital role in energy efficiency and energy conservation. 3.8 Health and wellness facilities. The pandemic has reinforced the importance of mental health and wellness facilities business. Organizations across all sectors are paying more focus to the employee health and wellness. 3.8.1 Mental health and addiction treatment centers. Mental health treatment facilities can either be general institutions that offer psychiatric and psychological care to their patients or specialize in one specific area of mental health. These facilities can offer both inpatient and outpatient care, depending on the severity and stage of their patient's mental health rehabilitation process. 3.8.2 Long-term care centers. These medical facilities specialize in providing medical care for patients who suffer from serious conditions and require constant treatment. Most patients who arrive at such a facility are transferred from hospital intensive care units after their conditions have been stabilized. The ultimate goal of long-term care facilities is to improve their patients' conditions so they can return home. 3.8.3 Orthopedic Rehabilitation Centers. These centers are specialized in offering rehabilitation to patients with issues related to muscles and bones. They typically employ physical therapists that specialize in various parts of the body and are able to adapt their procedure based on the patient's physical condition and the severity of their issue. Orthopedic rehabilitation centers deal with a wide range of potential issues, from athletic injuries to providing therapeutic support to patients with various physical disabilities. Aside from diagnosing and treating orthopedic issues, rehabilitation specialists also provide patients with preventative care. 3.8.4 Hospice care facilities. Hospice care facilities aim to improve the quality of life for people with advanced and end-stage illnesses, as well as their families and caregivers. Unlike most healthcare institutions, which only provide medical care services to patients, hospice care facilities often employ a diverse group of healthcare providers that also take care of the patient's emotional, spiritual, and social needs. There are various programs and centers run by the government for benefits of population and ensure principles of equity, universality, and no financial hardship. These are provided through outreach services, mobile medical units, camps, home and community-based ACRE. 3.9 Conclusion. Facility management services play a strategic role in efficiently use of resources, space and manpower to improve customer satisfaction, hygiene, safety, security and vigilance. FM. Ensure the comfort, safety and efficiency of facilities. With change in technology, facility management services companies adopting latest technologies in management of entire estate. efficiently. Commercial buildings play a crucial role in 21st century. Health facilities play a significant role in disaster mitigation by providing immediate care and treating injured and also handling outbreaks of the disease. 3.1 Key concepts. Commercial facilities. Commercial facilities means and includes, but is not limited to, wholesale, retail, and other mercantile facilities, warehouse and distribution facilities, service facilities, office facilities, hotel or motel facilities, shopping centers, department stores, and international, national, and regional headquarters facilities, healthcare facilities, education facilities, facilities for persons requiring special care, research and development facilities, and tourism, recreational and sports facilities. Retail. The term retail refers to the sale of goods to the public for use or consumption, rather than for resale. This is as opposed to wholesale, which refers to the selling of goods in larger quantities to be sold on by retailers at a profit. Urbanization. Urbanization or urbanization refers to the population shift from rural to urban areas, the decrease in the proportion of people living in rural areas, and the ways in which societies adapt to this change. It is predominantly the process by which towns and cities are formed and become larger as more people begin living and working in central areas. Research facilities. Research facilities are defined as any institution, organization, or person that uses live animals in research, testing, or experiments. Thank you for